Hello. Ignore the booyah. I just got back from my sister's school. She had like a fair thing, and yeah, I wanted to talk about some stuff. So, if you saw yesterday, you saw that I ended the day. I mean, maybe I didn't tell you, but at the end of the day, I was just tired, and I decided not to do anything that was left from my to-do list. And something interesting happened. Well, I did a couple of things, but something interesting happened that in the past, usually when I dropped all the things I had to do, I felt a sense of relief. This time, I was like feeling a pull towards wanting to do these things. And I guess that's the main thing that has changed in this journey towards doing the things that are right for me, accountability towards myself and others also, but yeah. So that's good. I'll definitely take that with me. I woke up today more motivated. I'm feeling very sleepy. And yeah. If you saw yesterday, you would understand what I mean, but I am getting glimpses of who I really am. And I'm trying not to become desperate or scared when I feel like that person isn't there, like that energy isn't there. It's not about personality traits or anything physical. It's just an energy of who I am and how I carry myself. So I've been doing that more, just understanding how and figuring out how Anna Elizabeth carries herself, that when I say that, it's like my soul, my blueprint, who I really am, what feels right, and usually those things that feel right require more effort from me, so that's putting in the effort to do the things that are right for me to feel more safe. That's also what creating this structure also can be called, this masculine container, where I know the things that are good for me to make me feel like my days are full is working. So I'm gonna make sure I check off as much as possible. And I'm all sweaty because it's hot, and also we were walking in the blazing sun. What else? Yeah, it's basically it. See you later. Something else that I want to incorporate that I think is worth mentioning is slowing down, not stopping myself, because that's something I've done in the recent past and sometimes still do, unconsciously. I stop myself from doing things because for whatever reason, afraid of the responsibility that might bring, this and that, whatever. But slowing it down, because I feel like when I slow down, I really tap into who I really am. And I just did that, like connected to my body, to the physical sensations within my body, and then I felt like I could connect to that, to my spirit, that I feel like it's coming through my back and through my stomach. It's not embodying my whole body, it just feels like there. And what I heard, what I felt was like something that I said in like yesterday's video, and something my mom told me was that just act like you're dead. Like, just enjoy. Like, what would you do if your spirit, like your body was dead? You didn't have a vessel to do anything. You were just air. not necessarily on Earth. You could be in the middle of nowhere in space, as we currently are, but not the point. You were just floating in nothingness. You couldn't see, couldn't hear, couldn't smell, you couldn't speak. You could just feel and experience. Act like that. Like that's something. She didn't exactly say that, but just act like you're dead. That's what I felt. So instead of staying in a productivity checklist mode, I want to see how my spirit expresses itself. First thing, something I have been dealing with, handling, is body image issues, self-worth issues, because I've gained some weight and it bothered me. But then I was like tuning into myself as I was walking back home. I've been doing different versions of this as the day goes along, but one example is that as I was walking, I was like, oh no, I need to lose weight. Like the back of my head was going through all those things. Like, oh, I need to lose weight. These jeans are tight. And I'm like, baby, just get new jeans. Get new jeans. You're gorgeous. Like, and also something else. Everything is energy, and everything is a manifestation of who we are, not what we want. That's not necessarily a law. Just something I've been figuring out. I love life. It's just something I've been figuring out. A little theory. Yeah, by no means just mine. But I started this saying something. Yeah, instead of going through a productivity checklist, I want to follow my spirit and see where that takes me. I remember what I was going to say. The first thing that I want is this dessert that my mom made the other day that is in the fridge, and I just want to chill and watch YouTube. That's what feels right, and I'm gonna do that. Hey, so a little update. Not feeling all that well. The energies in the house are not the happiest. And I don't know. I'm trying not to push away that pain. Or to be, because I feel like a lot of my life, even since childhood, I have shut off my spiritual gifts because most people are in pain. So me being able to be so sensitive to how they feel, being able to feel the environment more than anything. Yeah, it's hard, but I want to be present, so I don't care what the environment's like. I want to be here. And yeah, that's a little update. I wrote down something I was thinking. I want to be here, feeling it all, but all I get is a spacey mind. I'm feeling, now that I'm outside speaking to you, a little bit more clear. I feel like my mind is clearing up. It's not that I have a lot of thoughts, more that just felt like foggy. I want to be real for a second. Life is not what I want it to be. I want my own space. I want my routine. I want a job that adds to my life. I want a partner that adds to my life. I want friends that add to my life. I want to be able to have time to have activities. Like you saw the other day, I went for a hike. It was a little bit of a hike, but I was so happy. I loved it. And the reality is, and I'm just want to be straight up because I try not to be negative, but this is my reality right this second, and I want to change it. The reality is that I don't even have $1 to take a bus to the town to be able to do a hike. I don't have clothes that I feel confident in to step outside. I don't and meet people. I don't have the money to sit somewhere where I can meet people. Really everything needs to be given to me by the universe with a miracle. Be like, oh, you were at the park this day and someone approached you and now you're best friends. You know what I mean? Like, everything in my life right now has to be a miracle, like 1 in a million. Everything. So I can't really create a life that I enjoy, and I want to know why. Like, it's not changing. I want to know why I can't create it. Why am I in this place in life where I can't create the environment that I want? Food, how I want my kitchen to look like, how I want my room to look like, all of those things. I wrote a channel message the other day that said really good things. But it's hard to grasp that those things are gonna happen. And I was praying just now, and I felt like I could hear God speak to me very clearly. Why don't you believe what I already told you? I already told you everything's gonna be fine, and not just fine, it's gonna work out. It's just this time where I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, and I don't know how it's going to happen. Like, it's driving me a little bit crazy. A little bit crazy, honestly. And when I say crazy, I mean crazy. Like, crazy with anger, frustration, impatience. And yesterday I felt really good, and I didn't give a shit about anything. Like, I was just in the present moment. I'm gonna post the video. I haven't posted it. The video I mentioned yesterday. I'm gonna edit it now. In fact, I'm gonna do that. I don't like having pending things to do. It gives me anxiety. But yeah, I didn't care about the state of my life or the state of anything. I still have that nagging feeling within me. And that voice inside of me that's telling me I'm not doing enough. And maybe that's what I need to embody to be able to survive this period, however long. I feel the need to laugh because it feels like survive this period, however long it is. And then it just happens. It's just like, boom. It's like, oh my god, Anna, you were being so dramatic. Stop. Another thing I have here, that I feel I need to share, but mainly for myself. Taking the messages God gives me more seriously. Not everyone is what they seem. I had a very intense nightmare / dream, which I'm gonna share right now. So, first, I was in this house, very big house, very luxurious. It had everything a human could need or want. Entertainment, like movie theater inside, large kitchens, cooks, people who clean, people who just wait on you to see if you need anything. Like, it was a huge house. And the owner of the house was this man, which he is actually an actor. He's the main character of the movie Saltburn, which I appreciated it. I appreciated the film as a film, but the energy of it was just shit. I needed to recuperate from it after I watched it. Don't recommend it if you're very sensitive. I am very sensitive. Don't recommend it if you're not sensitive, because you carry that with you. I think even more than the sensitive, because the sensitive find a way to shake it off, let it go, because they feel it so intensely, but the people who don't just carry it. My point is that he was the owner of the house, right? And in that place there were like other people present in the house, and in this dream, the owner of the house was very young, maybe like late 20s, early 30s, and I was a child, and me and this boy were watching a movie, and I was a little scared by this man, but I just had a bad feeling about him. But I was like, he looks good, right? He was wearing a suit, and when he wasn't, he was like very well dressed at all times. If it was casual, he was very well dressed as casual. If it was more formal attired, he will be very well dressed as formal, if that makes sense. And then in another shot of the dream, I was older, a teenager, or early 20s, I think more early 20s, and he was smiling at me, and we were at a pharmacy. I don't know if I already said this, but he was buying something for me that I needed from the pharmacy, and we were just waiting, and I still had that bad feeling. So you could see now that I'm analyzing the dream, which I feel is very important. It was years later, and I still had the same feeling. So like time went by, regardless of how long, and oh wait, oh no. No. Let me retell this. In the scene or the moment where, okay, I didn't explain this properly, but this girl and this boy were watching a movie in this like huge movie theater setup room, and he came into the room, and now I was watching the kids watch the shit, giving me a feeling. Holy fuck. He came into the room and he was checking into the children, seeing what they were doing, like almost like making sure that they were exactly where they were supposed to be. He didn't seem to be possessive over them. Whatever, that's not the point. I was watching the kids watch this. I think I was sitting on another seat in this room, but I was seeing everything from my own perspective. And there were other people my same age. Like that teenager, early 20s time. And they were all like laughing and happy. I'm just remembering details from the dream as I speak. And I'm just sitting there, just looking at the kids, and I get tense when this man goes into the room. And oh, there's a, let me see if I can show you. Probably not, but there is a, 1 second. Can you see that hummingbird? I just left. I hope you saw it. Well, I'm watching the kids, and I get tense, and everyone seems to be happy, but when he comes in, they're like, hey, kind of like acknowledging that he's in there, but I get tense, and I'm like, I get a bad feeling about this. I should leave. I remember thinking that, but then I think about the kids. But I'm like, I should leave, and apparently I never leave. And then the next scene, we're at a pharmacy, and he's smiling at me, and he hugged me sideways, like a sideways hug, and he's like, what do you need? And he's like, he looks nice, he looks like he's a nice person. It gives me an icky feeling on my stomach, but maybe I'm wrong, right? If you know what that means. Like, never ignore that. You're always right. If your stomach is just telling you this is just off, you're right. But I think I also need to remember that myself. 1 second. I and I remember, like, I start changing my mind about him, and I'm like, maybe he's not so bad. And then I don't know what happens in between. I think we go back, or I don't know what happened generally. It's like an old TV when it shuts off. It's like, boom, and you see, like, let me see if I can. It does like this, and it shows like some colors and something blurry. It's like a machine turned off, like an old TV, and it's like the illusion wore off. And I was in the house. We were all old. This guy was like, he looked like a fat, rich dude, like white, fat, rich, looking like with a blazer and stuff. And he was like serving himself whiskey in the corner of the room. And there was like this small, slim table where sometimes people put drinks on. And he was like pouring himself a drink. And there was like this L-shaped couch in this huge room. It was pretty empty. And there was a man sitting across me, if I'm not mistaken. But he was very quiet, like small. I think that was one of the kids. Yes. The 2 kids were older. They were sitting there. And I had the 2 women who were laughing with me. One was sitting here and one was sitting here. And they were looking like all old and wrinkly and honestly very fucking ugly. And I was sitting in between them, kind of like, I was like sitting like this, like, with like my back on the thing. It's like I woke up and I was in there and they were like sitting. So their heads were here and my head was lowered down because of the way I was sitting, right? Like very lazy, right? Whatever. So I woke up and then I look up and they're like laughing at me, and they're saying like something like they need to kill me, like I need to die, and because now I know that it was all an illusion and they are evil. And they are both standing next to me like ready to strangle me, and I'm not moving. I'm like, I don't know, I didn't feel like fighting was an option. And then a third sister came, like they were all sisters. The third sister came and she was right in front of me and she put her hands out like this. And I was like, we're gonna strangle you. And they were laughing. And I just started crying. And I remember, it's almost like I was choosing what was going on. I don't know. Yeah. That's how I felt, like I was choosing how to feel and how to act. And before that, I chose to believe that he was good. Even though I knew my gut feeling told me no. And I've been getting those dreams, which I'm gonna go into it in a moment. But it's like a game where you get to choose. That has been my dreams. Like you get to choose how to act, how to feel, what to do. So before, instead of fleeing, I remember I was thinking about the kids. I didn't want to leave the kids. I was like, I can't have a responsibility here. And that definitely applies to other things in my life that have happened. And then, I decided to be like, maybe he's not so bad. That was my mistake. And I do believe that God is trying to teach me things through dreams. Well, and that happens that there are all the 3 of them in front of me. They look like they're ready to strangle me, and I'm just crying. And in that moment, what I chose was to accept my fate and to see, I've read some of the, I don't remember what the name of the book is, but it's like all about dying, and it's like the Dalai Lama and like the Tibet and that culture and those spiritual ideas. I was reading that and I was like remembering that. It's like, how can I connect with my soul, let go of my body? I didn't get that far in the book to know what to do, but like things that I've gathered in meditation and in my own life, and I was trying to connect. In that moment, I chose to connect to higher power and be like, okay, I accept my fate. I guess I'm dying today. Let me see how I can make this as least painful as possible by letting go of my body and whatever. And then they kind of like, they look like they're about to strangle me. And the older guy, the guy from the movie that I mentioned, well, actually, how he looked now, it wasn't from the movie. I guess it was my brain's interpretation of him as an older man. And he was carrying this like tiny, I don't know, they're like two sticks with like clamps on the top, and I don't know what they did, but he was like he was just laughing with those things, and he was like making the move like and they said something along the then he said something along the lines of like, we're not gonna kill you, don't worry. But I didn't feel safe, but I was too far into it to now flee, because now I knew, like before I knew it was an illusion, I could have left. Before they knew, I knew that they were evil, I could have fled. But once I knew that they were evil, I was done, right? Once I was too deep into it, like there is a moment, I feel like well, whatever, I'm gonna finish. He was like, ha ha ha, laughing. It's like, we're not gonna kill you, but I didn't feel safe at all. And that sister's kind of like moved back a little bit, and I kind of was like laughing and like trying to go along with it, being like, yeah. But I chose, it's not like I chose it in that moment, it's like it almost just happened. I feel like sometimes we make a decision, and then what happens afterwards is just like all the momentum from that decision. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I need to pay more attention to the importance of my decisions. I'm not going to overthink it, but I do feel I need to think about it. That's why I'm talking about it today. So basically, also trusting my intuition, trusting my gut feeling. When I know something is wrong, I leave. God has taken me out of bad places before, and I learned, but I definitely did doubt him. And I feel like the message here is, don't doubt it. Always make immediate action. Take it as if it's a life or death decision, because it could be. Being exposed to evil, and this time specifically, it's not something to get around with. Yeah. I hope I explained myself. I need to go to the toilet. Talk later. That's my update. I feel I need to say one more thing. Yellow butterfly. Hey, I just want to mention a bit more things and finish this here. So Shabbat is gonna start soon, and I want to make dinner. Nothing fancy, because I don't have all that much right now, but I have some things. I'm gonna make hummus, and I have bread, and I'm going to make some fried eggplants. So I guess I do have a few things. Not like to make a massive dinner, but as I have in the past, but it is good still. So I'm very scattered. My sister was coming this way, and I just closed the door and locked it. And not right now. So I wrote here, productiva por mi paz, no por el éxito. I spoke yesterday about success and how it can just be, at least for me, a way of always being, not always feeling like what you have is not enough, which is a big theme in my life. Me not feeling enough, life not feeling enough, whatever. Not enoughness. So everything that I am doing is for me. The things that I have incorporated are for me because they fill me up. Right? One thing. Another thing. Remembering. Okay, so not doing much or not being productive and sweating has been healing at times, right? And I'm staying at a point where I'm like making sure that the things I am doing are aligned with who I am and things that I want to do and things that fill me up, not that like that bring more stress and more discomfort into my life. Things that require effort, but they at the end of the day bring more comfort, more happiness, more safety. That's a better word. So remembering what it is like being a child and feeling totally safe. I don't believe as a child I'd felt totally safe. So for me, it's like remembering by connecting to consciousness, because we are all one with everything. That is what I believe. Then in that way I can remember. So the way that I remember is watching this Zoe Suggs vlogs and watching them be parents and seeing their kids and seeing how safe those children probably feel. They're not worrying about money. They're not worrying, I mean, from what I can see over here, of course. They don't seem to be worrying about their parents' feelings or fears. They are in their own safe bubble, just being present and excited to experience life. So by stopping and doing things for me, it has provided me this space to give myself the opportunity to watch these videos and not be so hard on myself and tell me, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, because I cannot continue to be like that. And like that, I have begin to heal my mind in a way. I am being hard on myself right now. It's like I can be speaking and I have like a conscious thought, but right behind that thought there's a voice just going off with beliefs that are not it. I probably have more things to say, but I'm not going to say them because it's Shabbat. I'm not going to post tomorrow. That's not going to happen. Even though I like doing this, as I said, the things that I am doing right now are things that I genuinely enjoy. And if sometimes it brings me a little bit of unease because they're new things, and things that are a little bit uncomfortable because they're new, but they still bring me more peace. I don't know if I'm explaining myself properly, but I need to stop. I have been doing this for 8 days already. I think, yeah, this is going to be the 8th one. I am sweating buckets. I even recorded an extra video yesterday, which is a lot for me. I just need to stop and be dead. And if you don't get it, well, you probably do, because if you're watching this until now, then I have already explained what I meant by dead. But I need to be dead. In the most positive way. I just need to be. I need to exist. As if this body was just a vessel to enjoy. Because it is. Isn't it? That's all I'm going to say. Remember to protect your energy. Protect